Let's proceed with focus on health law. Besides following a good healthy diet and a regimented lifestyle, it's necessary to follow health rules. There are regulations and health laws. So, bearing that in mind, let's focus our attention on health law, which will be presented here by attorney and counselor at law, Mr. Kenneth Haber. Even though Attorney Haber serves the international market, his law firm is located in Boyds, Maryland. The moderator on this set is Attorney Ramesh Khurana from the Khurana Law Firm. This morning, Attorney Khurana questions Attorney Haber on the things to watch out for when a physician attempts to make an honest dollar through concierge medicine. Let's learn.
Welcome to the Capital Forum. I'm Ramesh Khurana, attorney practicing in Gaithersburg, Maryland. I have a great privilege to have with us Mr. Kenneth Haber, who is a very distinguished lawyer in Maryland, and he practices in regard to Medicare frauds, Medicaid issues, and other issues, especially relating to physicians. Today we had requested him to come to our studio and answer some questions in regard to what to watch out when a physician attempts to make an honest dollar through concierge medicine. First of all, I welcome Ken to our studio.
Thank you, Ramesh. I appreciate that.
We appreciate your coming to our studio.
Well, I appreciate your appreciating me.
You know, your answers to our questions have always been appreciated, and I may assure you that our audience is greatly benefited, because whenever you open your mouth, you tell us something very authentic and good. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, what are the various ways that a physician can seek to make an extra dollar in our current healthcare market, that he has to be care of some pitfalls? And what are some of those? I'm not expecting you to tell us all the pitfalls because we have limited time. What are some of those?
Well, let's start out and take a look at some of the ways that he can do it, and
Yeah,
then
sure.
the pitfalls that are inherent in those ways.
Sounds good.
Okay. Well, one of the things is concierge medicine. And if you ask people to define concierge medicine, 10 different people have 10 different answers.
There you go.
You know,
But I would like to hear from your mouth.
It's a specialized medicine where you're providing patients extras that they don't normally get from their primary care physicians. And different people try to put different things in the box to sell it. That makes it that much more attractive. Some people would say, well, we'll give you our pager number, our cell number, whatever. The old days pager number, I suppose, giving away my age. But the cell number, so that you can have consultation with us at any time. Others will say same-day access, and you know, we'll make room for you somehow, and they'll have a plethora of different type of contracts. They would have a contract that would provide for a whatever they want to call it, a maintenance fee, an innovation fee, a initial startup fee, a membership fee, whatever they want to call it, so that the doctor is getting a base amount of money. They've got to be careful because of the fact that they don't want to do it where the doctor can be receiving payments that can look like insurance premiums based upon risk, because then they can literally get in trouble with the insurance commissioner. That's one of the pitfalls. Now, aside from that, there's a variety of other risks, and doctors providing services that you wouldn't necessarily expect from a regular doctor, primary care physician. The difficulty is if that doctor is taking Medicare patients or third-party payment patients as well, and they're taking those payments, Medicare payments, from the patient that they're also taking concierge payments from, the government come in and say they're double dipping for the same services. And they've done that, and they've dinged doctors for that. So let's just assume the doctor opts out from Medicare, and that makes that he's not seeing Medicare patients. Not only is he not seeing Medicare patients, he won't be able to see Medicare patients until a particular period of time goes by when he can then re-enroll. He can see the patients, just can't charge Medicare for the patients when he opts out. And some doctors might find that good, except for the fact that Medicare has a policy that if it's a Medicare patient, that you can only charge a percentage of what Medicare charges, like 125%, 150%. I don't really recall the percentage at the moment. I think it's 125. And if you charge more than that of the Medicare patient, you're violating Medicare rules, even though you're not working under Medicare.
Very
You're
complex.
taking a Medicare patient.
Very complex set of rules.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Oh,
complex.
yeah.
I can see that.
So
But thank you for simplifying that.
Well, I appreciate that. But that's how complicated it is. The doctor thinks, well, I'm not taking Medicare as payment, so why can't I charge this patient what I want to charge him for?
So that's called double dipping.
Well, that's called, charging over the permitted rate. That's defined by Medicare, that what anyone can charge their patient. That's a Medicare patient. That's aside from Medicare, whether Medicare is paying money for the services outside of Medicare. Medicare will sometimes reimburse patients who've paid for services, received services that Medicare is they're not directly billing for. And the name of the way, the process, I can't recall at the moment, but I'm sure every doctor knows what it is. It's one of those senior moments.
Yeah.
The most important thing is don't get shaken with them. They come more frequently as you get older and older. But the fact of the matter is that Medicare still exercises its technical jurisdiction by limiting what you can charge that patient, even though you're not in direct reimbursement through Medicare. And the doctor can try to claim that services are different if the doctor is taking a Medicare patient and billing Medicare, but the IG's office scrutinizes those very carefully. And if it's anything related to, smells like, or in any way similar to those services that the patient's supposed to get under Medicare, they will ding the doctor. They can call it whatever they want, optimum health. They can call it extra time with the doctor. They can call it anything they want. Coordination of care, that terminology's been used, and Medicare will, the IG's office will ding the doctor. But assuming that the doctor's not dealing with a Medicare patient, he can charge, anything that he feels within professional ethics, because the fact if he charges more than professional ethics permits, then the licensing board might come after him for what that might be in terms
like
of
reasonable fees.
Reasonable fees, exactly. Although there's a tendency, I think, with medicine to permit people to bill, the licensing board permits them to bill more than otherwise. Attorneys, obviously, unless there's a direct contractual definition, the board's going to restrict us to reasonable fees. Doctors can also try to enhance their income through directorships. And
in fact, here I was concerned, I was going to ask you, of course, through the directorship, a doctor can make additional dollars or by accepting a job. But the question is, when he is going to accept the directorship in a facility, does he have to be careful about Medicare scam or other issues?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Just because he's not, he himself is not taking directly Medicare money, if the facility is working and billing Medicare, he can be charged criminally if, in fact,
Hand in glove, right?
Hand in glove.
Yeah.
He can be charged criminally if the facility is doing something illegal. And indeed, he could be charged for anti-kickback violations if he is taking money that results in increased Medicare billings, and he doesn't even have to know that they're using his number
Right.
For billings. They will quite often just presume it.
Even though they are, a doctor who has accepted the directorship, he is not on notice and he doesn't know that his ID is being used for billing, still he is responsible criminally?
It's a matter of fact finding, you know, and how much notice does he have,
Right,
you know,
right.
and yeah, certainly if somebody's using his number, if somebody is illegally using his number, you know, I would not be surprised Medicare comes back and says they want all this money paid back because they billed under your number. You're responsible for your number. That's aside from potential criminal liability. You know, so people have to be very careful.
So I think
who they deal
restitution
with.
will be a very mild punishment, in fact.
If it's only paying back
Right,
money, yes.
right,
you know.
right. Yeah.
I know of a doctor out on the West Coast that one of the mafia groups, so as to not be accused of being anti-Eastern European oriented, and actually, you know, my mother's side came from that general area herself.
Okay.
You know, they always, well, I'll just say the Russian mafia was actually the Russian mafia, and I'm not being discriminatory towards Russians because my mother's side was Russian, but they had gotten their hands into this guy and got his number and was illegally billing, and he got into big trouble for that because he needs to be on notice that anytime he's permitting anyone to use his number. You know,
Now, let me ask you one more question, Ken. Let us say that you are charging unreasonable fees, or which is called above the fair market value. Now, maybe you are referring the patient directly or indirectly. Are you still going to be accountable for this kind of situation?
yes, depending upon the specifics, whenever you're getting beyond fair market value and you're talking about, if you're getting paid for referrals, and if there's Medicare involved, you're in trouble.
So
you
this
can't
is-
get paid for referrals.
Will this amount to violation of kickback statute?
It could. If you have a contract that provides for fair market value for you to provide services and you're not making the referrals, then yes, you can get paid for fair market value of your services. It just gets very suspect when you're getting paid more than fair market value. Then the question becomes, are you making referrals? Are you abusing the system? Are you making more test orders than are necessary, et cetera, et cetera? So you got to be very careful under those circumstances. When you're involved with any sort of organization that's billing Medicare, you know, and you're a physician, you got to be careful. And sometimes these organizations try to make it look spick and span, and everything they're doing is just fine and dandy. But and what I was thinking of before is out-of-network billing. Just came to me. But in any event, you know, you're responsible. That's your number, and you know, if somebody's abusing your number, you're the one who turned it over to them, and you're responsible.
So you have to protect your number and safeguard it, keep it in the deposit box.
Keep it in the deposit box. But you know, if you're working for somebody, they're they're paying you, they're going to want to bill your number, and it's
Right.
it's billed
You
under
have
a
to
group
give it.
number. So, but you got to be careful who you're working for. You
Right.
always have to be careful of who you're associating with, because whoever you're associating with could take you down with them if they're not clean.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ken. We appreciate your answers to some of the very critical questions, especially for doctors who want to make extra dollars. We appreciate your answers.
Well, thank
And
you.
we would request you to come to our studio in future as well, so that we can address some of the more questions to you.
Be my
Thank you very much, Kevin.
Be my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.